problems in Connecticut. He needs to be here. He's the leader of our government.
First at 5, under fire, why some say Governor Malloy is missing in action while other states are busy courting Connecticut moneymakers. Malloy will soon be headed to Paris, leaving behind angry business leaders and lawmakers and accusations of a fiscal fiasco underway at the state capitol.
Governor Malloy's planned business trip to Europe, courtesy of state taxpayers, is raising eyebrows as national headlines and editorials describe him as unfriendly to corporate Connecticut.
Now, Fox Connecticut's Jen Bernstein takes a look inside the controversy.
This full-page ad in today's Wall Street Journal entices Connecticut corporations to relocate to Indiana. While hammering Connecticut for expected tax hikes, it reads, "Because friends don't let friends pay higher taxes."
Sure, it's disheartening that another state would take out an ad in a nationwide publication, and this on the eve of Governor Malloy heading to Paris, France.
Senate Republican Kevin Whitkos also criticizing an upcoming overseas trip for Governor Malloy. He will be in Paris Sunday and Monday for the annual International Air Show, considered the largest aerospace industry gathering in the world. Whitkos says the timing couldn't be worse.
Our major businesses are saying, guess what? We're out of here now. With all these messages, the governor has chosen to go on taxpayer expense to Paris, France, to attend an air show in hopes to bring businesses back to Connecticut. He needs to be here. He's the leader of our government.
Malloy's trip is funded by the Department of Economic and Community Development. The agency confirming today his travel expenses will cost just over $5,000. They've been asking him to go since the beginning of the year, but his office only recently confirmed he would attend.
It's been an incredibly effective program for the state for the last several years, and we're really pleased that we're going again this year.
Connecticut is considered a leader in the aerospace industry, with at least 28,000 jobs tied to large employers like Pratt & Whitney and Sikorsky. Economic Development sent representatives to the air show for the last several years and will also help pay travel expenses for 10 smaller Connecticut companies. The commissioner believes the governor's presence can only help bring in new business.
This is a very short trip for him. He's going to be gone and he'll be in Paris for about 24 hours with the air show. And my feeling is this only happens once a year. It's really critical for him to be there and help us. And I know he will not lose a beat on making sure he's listening and working with the local companies here.
Governor Malloy's office also defended the trip today, saying the governor is proud to support in-state companies and working to attract new ones. We also reached out to the governor of Indiana, and while his office tells us they can't discuss their conversations with businesses, they did confirm that companies in high-tax states like Connecticut are interested in learning more about Indiana. Jen Bernstein, Fox Connecticut.
Jen, thanks. If any Connecticut corporations take up Indiana's offer, they'll be in good company. Among the major businesses headquartered in the Hoosier state, Berry Plastics, a global manufacturer of packaging products, Eli Lilly, the global pharmaceutical company, Steel Dynamics, one of America's largest producers of carbon steel products, and Global Van Lines, which gained fame in the 1960s for moving equipment for NASA. Now, Republicans and corporations not the only ones blasting the governor's budget. Hospitals across the state warning of major job cuts and program closures if something's not changed in the legislature's special session.
A spokesperson for Hartford Healthcare says the cuts will not only affect the state's economy, but also access for care for our most vulnerable community members.
When they come to our emergency rooms with further advanced illness, we're there, we'll care for them, but they're going to have a poorer health outcome at greater cost to the system.
Hartford Healthcare, which owns Hartford Hospital, will receive $100 million less in state payments as a result of the new budget. A billboard on I-84 in Hartford has been put up warning of the potential consequences. The hospital system will not specify which services or jobs could be cut. Healthcare are among the biggest contributors to the state's economy, and newly released numbers show Connecticut is not sitting in a pretty spot when it comes to growth. But are we worse off than the rest of the country? Ahead at 5, we sit down with Hartford Courant editor Andrew Julian to break down the numbers and take an in-depth look at the state's GDP growth.
Killed at the hands of their own mother. Police in East Haven have charged an East Haven woman with the murders of her 2 young children.
The 6- and 8-year-olds' bodies found inside their home last week filled with natural gas. Fox Connecticut's Laura Roberts joins us live from New Haven Superior Court tonight, where the 36-year-old mother just answered to the charges. Laura?
That's right. LaRoya Moore was just arraigned less than an hour ago. The proceeding was very quick, maybe just 5 minutes long. But after court, we did get our hands on these court documents, which reveal much more about what happened at her home in East Haven last week. Now, LaRoya Moore is now charged with the murders of her 2 young children, Darren and Alicia. According to court documents, she actually admitted to police that she opened the gas line and intended to harm them. Now, LaRoya was actually found herself with cuts on her wrist, and today in court you could actually see the bandages covering up those wounds. In court today, they mentioned her previous convictions as well as what they call her significant history with DCF. Court documents also state that she left a note by the children's bodies saying, quote, "We were meant to die today," and, quote, "She couldn't leave any more of her kids to the system," quote. It seemed to indicate that she intended to kill herself as well that day. Now, Moore is being held on $2 million bail and is also being put on suicide watch. We will have many more details about what happened in court as well as what was revealed in these court documents coming up tonight at 10 and 11. But for now, we are live in New Haven. Laura Roberts, Fox Connecticut.
New information just into Connecticut's newsroom about a knife-wielding man shot by Hartford police.
Cops say the 22-year-old was waving not one, but multiple knives and refused to drop them before the officer fired 3 rounds on Westminster Street last night. Tonight, he is in stable condition.
Now, police are trying to get ahead of this one, releasing 911 calls and specifics about the case. Fox Connecticut's Louisa Moeller joins us live from police headquarters tonight. And Louisa, what are the police saying?
Well, Brent, Katie, they claim they're saying just about as much as they possibly can on this incident, except breaking privacy laws, of course. They said they want to keep the public trust, and that includes releasing the name of the victim, 22-year-old Tyrinda Mason Thompson, and the name of the officer who shot him. That's Officer Tyrell Jenkins. Now, I do want to be clear. The family has provided us with a picture of Mr. Thompson, and it was taken when he was a much younger person.
Have a seat. Just have a seat. We just want to talk. Come on. How you doing, West Town?
Shocking audio from a 911 call after a Hartford police officer shot a man last night. But necessary, Police Chief James Ravella and Mayor Pedro Segarra say, to maintain the public trust.
The welfare of our city depends on communication and the timely release of information because the public wants to know and they should know.
During a unique news conference, Ravella explained in detail what police know about the shooting of 22-year-old Tyrinda Mason Thompson by a 3-year veteran of the force, Officer Tyrell Jenkins.
He has no sustained citizen complaints.
Police say it started when someone on behalf of Thompson's mother called a dispatcher for help involving an emotionally disturbed person. Police sent 3 officers, including Jenkins, to the area of Winchester and Palm Streets where they found Thompson. Thompson fled from them. The officer pursued. And when he finally stopped, police say he had 2 knives in his hand, a large kitchen knife and a small knife. That's when Officer Jenkins asked him to put the knives down.
Put the knife down. Put the knife down, please.
Police say he didn't comply, and Jenkins deployed his taser, although it may not have taken. Then police say Thompson rushed at Jenkins, and this happened.
Black hoodie. Black pants. Black bandana.
Jenkins suffered shots to his torso and arm. He was given first aid and is listed in stable but critical condition.
He is my right hand of God. I'm not even thinking about that knife thing. I didn't know.
Lonnie Mason is Thompson's grandfather. He says the young man suffers from mental illness, but he refuses to believe he was violent.
He runs. You know, he's not going to do this, he's not going to do that. But I ain't never seen him to throw his hands up and want to fight somebody.
And questions the officer's use of force.
You already tased him. That was enough.
Yeah.
Now the taser's supposed to knock you down. And you just do what you do. But to shoot?
Now, police say that the officer did suffer a broken thumb and is out on sick leave, and he will be placed on administrative assignment when he returns, of course, pending the investigation. There are also 3 investigations going on right now: a state investigation into the officer's actions, an internal investigation into the officer's actions, and a criminal investigation to see if Thompson committed any crime. At this point, he has not been charged, and police said that he has no criminal record. We're live in Hartford, Louisa Moeller, Fox, Connecticut.
Louisa, thanks. Police say a threat posted on social media that kept a Milford Middle School closed today is not credible. The specifics surrounding the threat not being released, police only telling us the person who posted it is not local. Classes at West Shore Middle School will resume as normal tomorrow. Extra officers were on hand at other schools in the district today as a precaution.
All right, so I was driving into work today and I looked over and saw a woman on the sidewalk wearing a jacket. And my car said it was 84 degrees outside. But here's the thing, I think. It's been such a topsy-turvy spring weather-wise, I think people don't know what to think anymore.
Yep, I think that's fair.
We've forgotten when you wear a jacket and when you don't.
I hear you. You're not going to need a jacket the next couple of days. I can tell you that right now. Temperatures will actually be approaching 90 degrees for some towns tomorrow and also for Friday, too. Let's talk about temperatures right now. Certainly not jacket weather in Hartford, not to knock the woman who was wearing one earlier. Right now, temperatures are in the middle 80s there, and it's even mild for some locations along the shoreline, too. The National Weather Service station in Hartford picking up at 81 degrees, 78 in Bridgeport, low 80s in Guilford, and upper 60s currently in Groton. It's a little bit breezy out there, too. Nothing showing up on the satellite and radar. It's not broken. There's just nothing to show you right now. As showers and thunderstorms off to the north and west, passing through Syracuse, and these will stay north of the area tonight, but we'll get a brief increase in cloud cover, becoming partly cloudy. So a nice night if you want to do any grilling, go for a walk. Temperatures dropping back between 60 to 65 degrees, and then tomorrow, temperatures are off to the races. We'll talk about how long this warm stretch lasts and when rain returns. That's all coming up in just a bit.
I'm confident we will find them. The only question is when.
Long gone or right under their noses, the search ramps up for two cons who busted out of prison in neighboring New York. The hunt for the escaped killers.
And chaos in the Lincoln Tunnel when two buses collide, one of them full of high school students. Ahead, more on the crash that partially closed a busy tube and sent a woman into labor.
But first, what's in a name? The Hartford Yard Goats only want to be running on one thing. That's on the other side of this break.
Like the singing bird and the croaking toad, I've got a name, I've got a name, and I carry it with me like my daddy did.